Hey guys, welcome back to Pier Runners. Today we're going to be going over our experience on the Harmony of the Seas. So we took this trip as a family trip a couple of years ago, and we wanted to rate our experience because I know that Harmony of the Seas just did a completely new refurb of the ship, so we thought it was the right time to put out this video. So Harmony of the Seas is an Oasis class ship, so it does have those specific neighborhoods like all the other Oasis class ships.
And even though it's not an Icon class ship, we're talking about a ship that was just recently one of the biggest ships in the world. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the Oasis class was the absolute biggest cruise ship you could be on, and it still dwarfs some other
smaller cruise ships.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's not like you go into the Oasis class and you're thinking, oh my God, like this is an old ship. There's so much to do. There's so many neighborhoods. You get that Central Park, that kind of like area, the Boardwalk. You know, all those neighborhoods that make it feel like you can have a different identity in every part of the ship. The Oasis class has that, and Harmony of the Seas is obviously no different.
So when you first go into the ship, the first thing that you walk into is the promenade. This is an interior location and it has all the shops and different kinds of restaurants. Like it has Sorrento's Pizza and it has like a couple of bars in there to entertain you at night, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, actually it's one of the more spectacular entries, even though it's an older ship. A lot of ships bring you into some sort of atrium space, and I always found the promenade was just, you know, especially
impressive.
It was always impressive to walk into. That's one of the things about those immersive neighborhoods. I found the promenade walking into an Oasis class ship is just spectacular, and it's a great first experience on a cruise ship.
Yeah, and back in the day there used to be the Bionic bar, but now they switched that out.
They removed it with the refurbishments?
They removed it with the refurbishments, but it's kind of cool because they replaced it with the Tiki bar, which I think is going to be so much better.
Another great neighborhood everybody knows in regards to the Royal Caribbean ships is the Central Park area. And what I really liked about Central Park on Harmonies of the Seas specifically is it really felt kind of like New York. It feels like a little like urban neighborhood, you know, nestled in a park. It's just, you know, all the trees and the plants are all real. They even added little sound effects of birds and stuff like that. So you really have a second in there where you can almost get away from it all, leave the top deck, go enjoy like a little walk in nature, even though it's kind of like in the center of the ship.
Yeah.
And you know, there's little terraces. You can sit at a restaurant and be facing the park. We loved it to go eat breakfast there, you know, grab a little coffee and sit in the gardens and just enjoy the vibe. And at night, often there's entertainers, there's music, there's people, you know, playing, and they have like night lighting, street lamps that are on.
So pretty.
So it's very special, and that's a great place to take pictures with, you know, whoever you're traveling with, your family. It's just a really special area.
It's a great place also to get away from crowds. Like it's a lot more tranquil and more peaceful, and it's still open air, so you can get that fresh air, but you're not dealing with as many crowds as everywhere else on the ship.
Yeah, we actually had a balcony view in our stateroom facing the ocean, but we took a second room for our kids, and they had a balcony facing Central Park.
And it was really nice.
It was really surprisingly nice. Like I would take that over an interior cabin any day.
Definitely. The next area on the ship is the Boardwalk, and that is a fun area. I think if you're looking for a good time, they usually have like a little carousel for kids there. And the Boardwalk is what it sounds like. There's like a hot dog place. There's a diner called Johnny Rockets. And back in the day when we sailed, there was some kind of Mexican restaurant that we didn't like very much, but now they replaced it with Playmakers. So it's kind of cool because now there's a sports bar there. Okay. And I think it'd be a really fun place to go catch a game.
Well, they also have an arcade and they have a Starbucks, if I remember correctly.
And completely at the back of the Boardwalk, you will have that aqua theater, which is a really cool spot to watch that aqua show at night. It has like a rising floor, so it becomes a pool, but it also becomes a theater. So that's where you can watch like movies.
Well, yeah, and performers actually use this transitioning stage during their performances. So there's really a lot of great moments in that area.
Yeah, and there's also like stuff for the kids too. Like they have like these huge rock climbing walls on the back of the boardwalk, and you also have that huge 15-story slide there, the dry slide, which is pretty cool for the kids. So they really enjoyed that. On the lower decks, that's where you're gonna find the main theater. This is kind of like a huge theater. They do Broadway shows there. It's actually a really nice theater, and we really did enjoy all the shows in that theater.
Another part of that lower deck is the skating rink, so you can go on certain days to actually skate.
Yeah.
And you can also go see shows.
Yeah, at night they give out some really cool performances on that skating rink. So on the top decks, that's where you're gonna find like the pool decks. So Harmony of the Seas actually has 3 pools that you can enjoy. So they have the main pool, the sports pool, and the beach pool. And they also have splash away bay for the little kiddies to enjoy, and it's completely safe for them. My main criticism was there wasn't a lot of shade for us to sit on. I know now they added a couple of shaded areas, which is kind of nice.
It's mostly around the main pool. It's just you're just
There was
cooking.
no shade.
Yeah.
Another area on those top decks that you're gonna find, which is an adults area only, is the solariums. And this is completely at the front of the ship, so you can get some really beautiful views of the ocean in the solarium, which is really cool.
So it's a good place to go lounge, have a drink, and just relax, and there's a bit less noise.
Exactly.
And you're kind of shielded from the wind, so if it's a really rowdy day at sea, you can go hang out in the solarium and really have a nice relaxing time.
Yeah, and there's also a little restaurant in there. Remember, it was like a buffet style area where you could get either breakfast or lunch. And right next to the solarium, you do have hot tubs on the outside, like these huge hot tubs with glass windows.
This is also where you'll find your water slides and the 2 flow riders that are like right there on that top deck. You know, every cruiser's talked about if they've been on a Royal Caribbean ship is to try those flow riders. And you also have access to that dry slide that, you know, you have to go all the way to the top of the ship, and it brings you all the way back down to the promenade.
And what's nice is all this is included in your fare, so you don't have to pay extra for that.
So another thing that's included up there is the zip line, which you know, you zip from one side of the top over like an open space, which I believe is Central Park.
No, it's the boardwalk.
It's the boardwalk?
Yeah, it's over the boardwalk.
Another great part of this ship was the gym facilities. I mean, this was the first cruise ship I'd visited, so I brought my workout gear, not really knowing what to expect. When I walked into that gym, I just couldn't believe it. I've never seen so much equipment. There's multiple machines. There must have been 50 cardio machines, weight racks everywhere, rooms to do yoga. There was cycling. It was just super impressive. And by far, even though I've been on more modern ships recently, it's still the biggest gym I've been in since then.
So if we have to rate the actual like ship itself, what would you rate it?
On 5, I think I'd give it a 4.5.
Same. I think it's really a well-designed ship. All the different neighborhoods really makes the ship easy to navigate. You know, different people can go hang out in different zones, and that way the ship doesn't feel too crowded. So the next thing we're gonna rate is our room. So on this sailing, we decided to get a balcony room, and we were lucky enough to actually be able to book 2 rooms. I thought they were really well designed, super spacious.
Yeah, they didn't really show their age. Like everything was kept really well.
Nothing was scuffed, nothing was run down. It looked really good.
The bed was comfortable.
The bed was very comfortable.
What do you
actually
rate this room?
I think the room overall was great. I would rate it a 4.5.
Okay. I'm gonna rate it a 4 just because the entertainment system, like the television, was like virtually no channels.
Oh, that's true. There was hardly any channels. I think that was our only criticism.
Yeah, like, it wasn't the best. I mean, I don't watch that much television on a cruise, but that was one thing definitely that I hope they've improved since then.
Yeah, but what we did like was that there was lots of storage in the room, so we each had our own dresser on each side. The balcony that we had gotten was the extended balcony, so that was really nice. We had lots of room to spread out. Our sons had a regular sized balcony, and even I thought their balcony was the perfect size.
Fine. Yeah.
The best part about cruising with Royal Caribbean is how many free activities there are to do on the ship. And this is especially great when you're traveling with kids like we were. Like we had said, there was a rock climbing wall, there was the surf rider, there was the zip line, there was free ice skating during the day. They also had free kids clubs, which were really, really fun for the kids to participate in.
My teenage son spent most of his days playing like everything you could on a court. He played basketball, he played volleyball, he played dodgeball. He spent all of his days there around the sporting area. So, you know, if you're a sporty type, Harmony of the Seas has you covered for sure.
Yeah. The water slides, they love the water slides. I think they spent hours doing them.
Well, they have the big funnel one, so.
That was fun, yeah. I think there was like three or four water slides.
I think there's 3 different slides, but there was one that has a giant funnel, so that's always a big favorite with kids.
Yeah. Another thing they had was the golf, the mini golf.
Oh yeah, the mini golf was cool. I was like, I do it at least once on every cruise ship.
And it's a nice thing to do in the evening when you have nothing to do.
Yeah, it's just a classic mini putt. There was no big gadgets to it or lights or whatever. It's just like wooden structures and stuff like that. But it was charming and it kind of brought me back. Like it was nostalgic.
Yeah. So for activities, what would you rate it? I would give it a 5 on 5.
For activities, it was a 5 for me. I mean, you don't need more than that for your sea days.
It was just enough entertainment to entertain the whole family. And we could all go to different locations. Like my kids often went to the kids clubs and they did activities in the kids clubs, and we were able to go to the adult areas and enjoy our time there. So
it's no secret that Royal Caribbean does entertainment very well. Their shows are top notch. They're Broadway quality productions.
Oh yeah.
So on our sailing, we got to see their production of Grease, and it was perfect. The singers were pitch perfect. The dancing was amazing. The set pieces were spectacular. I can't remember if I've actually seen this show on land, but I've seen many Broadway shows in New York, and this was just as good, if not better. And it just kind of solidified that reputation for having amazing entertainment. And I can't speak enough about the Aqua Show. The Aqua Show was like a multimedia like spectacle, just a great marriage of music, dancing, acrobatics. Aside from one dive that they skipped because the sea was a little rowdy, there are things I had never seen like on land or at sea.
Yeah,
it was just
so amazing. It felt like a Cirque du Soleil show, but on a cruise ship. Also, the skating shows kind of surprised me. I didn't think they were going to be that good, but we went to 2 different shows that they were performing on 2 different nights, and the skaters were just amazing, doing flips, and the story was fun.
I don't know how you can land a double or triple axel on a cruise ship.
I don't know.
With literally like that elevator feel that you get every once in a while.
Yeah. And there's also like entertainment all over the cruise ship. So you have like live music and live singers, and overall like the entertainment on the whole cruise ship blew me away.
No, I agree. So I'd give it for entertainment a nice glowing 5 out of 5 coconuts. There's also that one, don't forget that one elevator that always has the piano guy in it.
Oh yeah, the piano guy. He was so funny. I loved it. Yeah, that was really, really fun. So entertainment, I think Royal Caribbean can't be beat for me. So 5 also. So coconut explosion for them. All right, so now let's talk about dining, because food is a really big, important part of cruising. So first, let's talk about the included dining, what you actually pay for, and that's included in your fare. So first of all, you got the main dining room, which is pretty big. I was actually surprised how big their dining room was. And it also has a really big buffet area.
A lot of cruise ships have kind of been shrinking. Like there's like shrinkflation going a bit on their buffets. They've been making them a little smaller, but Windjammers on this cruise ship specifically was really great. It was a big buffet. The menu would change often. Yep. Every day there was a theme, and at any time of the day there was always fresh fruit. There was healthy options.
They have some really great desserts too. I remember their dessert selection. It was really plentiful.
And I think the few times I went, I was actually really impressed with the variety of flavors and foods.
Another place that we absolutely loved eating at was Park Cafe, which is in Central Park. This is kind of like a cafe where you can grab some grab and go items, but you also have like a salad bar, sandwich bar, stuff like that. And it's usually open for all 3 meals, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Especially for breakfast, this was our favorite spot to go eat breakfast there because they had some grab and go items, but they also had like tons of breakfast sandwiches and bagels made to order. So you could order like a bunch of stuff like that and sit out in Central Park and just enjoy breakfast, and there was hardly anybody there. There was like no crowds. So definitely on port days, this was our favorite option. We often went there.
We also like Johnny Rockets for breakfast. It's kind of like more of like greasy spoon breakfast, but the kids, that was their favorite.
And that's all included, and you can have like, you know, your diner kind of breakfast served there. You also have the hot dog place on the boardwalk that's completely included.
Well, you have Serrano's, and you also have
Serrano's, of course. Serrano's Pizza.
That's like a fan favorite. Anybody who cruises Royal Caribbean loves the Serrano pizzas. I know that one of my teenage sons basically lived there.
He kept taking it back to his room to eat at night. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to try the main dining room for dinner or lunch, so we ended up only going there for breakfast. And our one experience for breakfast wasn't that great.
No, service was slow. Some of the food was cold.
Yeah.
Aside from a really nice freshly squeezed orange juice, it was really subpar.
We're not really the best people to review the main dining room, but our experience there for breakfast wasn't that great. So if I had to score the included food on Royal Caribbean, I think I would give it a 4 coconuts.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 3.5, and I think we're both docking some points here just for the main dining room. We're not getting a complete picture of the entire included food scene, but with our one experience there, we're gonna have to dock a few points.
And there's so many other cruise ships right now that have so many great included venues. It's just not the same. So I'm docking some points for that too. Okay, so now let's talk about the specialty restaurants, the venues that you have to pay for. Harmony of the Seas had tons of specialty restaurants, really great ones too. And since we had the unlimited dining plan, we actually got to try all of them, which was really, really cool. The first restaurant we ended up trying was Jamie's Italian on that first night. The food was pretty good there. I would have to say my main meal was really good, but my appetizers came out a little bit cold. So it wasn't my favorite meal. Overall, the restaurant itself was really pretty. It was in Central Park, so that was kind of nice. The desserts weren't my favorite.
It was a bit of a mixed review.
It was a
You didn't love your meal, but
review.
me and our 2 boys, our meals were pretty good. She's Italian also, so she's super picky on the Italian foods.
Actually, that restaurant's been replaced now. It's Giovanni's, which is an Italian restaurant found on other Royal Caribbean ships, and I think maybe that's a good change. I think more people are gonna visit it.
We also booked some reservations at Izumi's Hibachi and the sushi restaurant. And we went on different nights, but they were both amazing. You know that experience where you have like the chef juggling his knives and cracking a bunch of jokes and singing. It's kind of more of a communal thing, so you end up kind of sharing the space. We were with great company. We made some friends. Food was good. What's fun about it is for example, we like less onions and garlic. He kind of made a little pile on the side that was just for us, that was less salted and, you know, had less garlic in it. So I thought that was really classy of them. And then on another night, one of the last nights on the cruise ship, we tried the sushi restaurant, and the sushi was top notch.
Top notch.
Yeah,
delicious.
The desserts actually blew me away. Those, is it mochi balls?
Yeah, mochi balls. Those were really good.
Again, impeccable service, cool atmosphere. It was just a nice evening out.
One of our favorite restaurants was actually 150 Central Park. This is like an upscale restaurant, so it was kind of cool. I think that was my favorite meal out of the whole cruise ship. The food was spectacular. The bread was amazing. Like they had like this pull apart garlic bread that was so good. And their desserts, oh my God, their desserts were amazing. So we really loved our evening out there, and the kids too. They actually really enjoyed their meal. Another restaurant that we tried was Royal Caribbean Steakhouse, Chop Grill. We actually had a really great experience at Chop's Grill. We both ordered filet mignon. Actually, all four of us ordered filet mignon, and
It's true.
It was so tender, so delicious, like melt in your mouth. It came with a bunch of sides that we really enjoyed.
A good classic, steak menu, and nice portions of vegetables. The sides were really good. The mashed potatoes were all buttery. Everything was excellent.
Yeah, and again, our server was exceptionally nice, like so good and professional.
Another paid restaurant we went to was Johnny Rockets. Again, that is their 50s themed diner restaurant that's in the Boardwalk. My kids every once in a while just want a burger and fries. And they just love that kind of atmosphere. So we went there a few times for dinner and once for lunch.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Rockets gets the job done. They have really good milkshakes. Their burgers were pretty good as well.
Yeah.
I was a little let down by the fries.
Like their burgers were good, but nothing to write home about. Like they weren't as good as Carnival's Guy Fieri burgers.
No.
That's included, and this you actually have to pay for. So I don't know if I'd really go to Johnny Rockets and fork out money for it.
I think I went for the atmosphere and because the kids wanted to, but honestly, if the kids hadn't been there, I don't think I would have gone.
Yeah.
Maybe once for breakfast.
So the last restaurant we actually went to was the Mexican restaurant Sabor. Luckily, Royal Caribbean switched that out for Playmakers, which I would have preferred on my sailing because Sabor wasn't that good. It was like quesadilla.
There's nothing wrong with the idea of a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
It's just it was just really average.
Very average food. The drinks were good though. They had like margaritas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Sabor was, I think, one of my least favorite restaurants on the whole cruise ship. So I'm super happy that they changed it out with Playmakers, because I think that's what was missing on Harmony of the Seas, was a good sports bar.
But is Playmakers a venue they have on other ships that they're bringing into this one?
Yeah, so they have it on almost all their cruises now,
Okay.
the Playmakers. And if you want like pub food, like Playmakers is a good place to go watch the game. So overall, specialty dining, what would you rate it on Royal Caribbean?
For me,
on
it's
5.
It's like a 4.5, like a high 4.5, almost perfect. I mean, Johnny Rockets, to be honest, again, I don't even know why it's on the paid. It should just be included as far as I'm concerned. Almost like their version of a Guy Fieri.
I agree.
And it shouldn't be on that list. But all the other venues that we went to, they all were what I expected, or they exceeded my expectation.
Yeah, so I give the same rating of a high 4.5, almost like 4.8. And same thing, I would remove points for the Johnny Rockets.
It's the only reason I'm giving it 4.5, because it would be a 5 otherwise.
Okay, so now let's talk about the bars on the ship, because a lot of people like to drink when they're cruising. Harmony of the Seas actually had quite a few bars. In the Royal Promenade, one of our favorite bars was the English pub, Boot and Bonnet, and I really like the theming in that bar. It was kind of like your traditional English pub. So that was a cool place.
I like the gimmicky robot arm, but it's gone now.
The Bionic Bar, that was another one that we had on our sailing. I'm actually happy that it's gone. It was kind of like a cool novelty with the robotic arm, but the problem was that the drinks weren't that good. So the drinks that the robots mixed were pre-made, kind of
Wow, yeah, they lacked a bit of finesse.
There's also that Rising Tides bar. It's kind of like an elevator that goes really, really slowly, and it goes from the Royal Promenade to Central Park.
Harmony of the Seas also features a cool bar called Boleros. That's in the Promenade, and it usually has Latin dancers and Latin themed music. I really like this bar. I love the theming, and we love that kind of music. It was really busy often. If you do like margaritas and
mojitos and Latin style drinks, that's definitely the place to go. Then there's the Schooners Bar. So that's like the nautical themed bar. At night there was always live musicians like playing the piano and stuff like that and singing. There was a couple of other bars that we didn't go to, like there was a jazz bar that we actually didn't try. There was another place called On the Club I think that's where they had karaoke or something like that. And then in Central Park, there was another bar there called Vintages where you could order like wine and like cheese boards and stuff like that. We actually are not huge wine drinkers, so we didn't end up trying that one. But the one in Central Park that we did enjoy was Trellis Bar, the Trellis Bar. That was fun. It's like an open air bar, and we had a couple drinks there at night.
Or just like the atmosphere there, so it's just amazing to have a drink there late at night with the trees and everything.
And there was like people playing music at night, singing. It was really a fun place just to hang out.
Of course, there's a great bar near the pool. We did have several drinks there just because it was so hot up there. We ended up having mixed drinks. You had a
frozen mojito. That's
go.
My favorite drink on Royal Caribbean. I definitely enjoyed that, so I would definitely order that again. The only thing I have to say that on our sailing anyway that I noticed was a lot of the drinks repeated themselves. Like you know how Carnival, each bar has like specialty drinks that are...
There's some drinks you can only get at certain bars.
Royal has like their base menu, which is repeated across all of their bars.
So the bar's decor has a theme, but not necessarily the drinks they offer.
Exactly. Yeah. So overall, what would you give your bar experience?
Well, I didn't drink a lot, but I think I would give it I'd give it a 4 out of 5. I mean, every drink I had, you know, they weren't cheap on the alcohol. The drinks had a good mix, and all the bartenders were professional.
Yeah. Overall, I would give it a 4 coconuts. I think
the sample size was small, but the quality was good.
Very good. Yeah. Now let's talk about the ports of call. So on our sailing, we ended up going to Labadee and Nassau, right? And we ended up going to Falmouth, Jamaica. A lot of the activities are far away from Falmouth, and we just decided to explore the port on our own that day, and it wasn't that great of an experience.
Well, it's run down, and you kind of get swarmed the second you get, you know, into the port. That was our experience. We just had people haggling to get us on some excursion that we weren't like, you know. So the port itself was like not super enjoyable. We ended up just going back on the ship.
We enjoyed Nassau because we booked an excursion that day. So we actually brought the kids to a water park. It was the Bahamar Water Park. And that was kind of cool because it included the bus fare and the food.
Oh, yeah,
so we got to eat at the water park, and they also gave us access to the beach, the hotel beach, which was really, really nice. So we did half a day of water slides with the kids, and then the other half we ended up just lounging at the beach and enjoying the ocean a little bit.
Kids really had a good time. Water slides were pretty big, and we had those, you know, those ones that you get on an inflatable raft, the whole family.
Yeah, that was
fun. And it goes
fun.
down giant water slides, and they also had the sudden drop ones with the countdowns, so those were pretty cool. So
and at the time when we had booked that excursion, we wanted to try Atlantis, but it was just way too expensive, and this one was so much cheaper. I think we got it for half the price.
Atlantis is so pricey.
Yeah, and the last port that we went to was Labadee, and Labadee was a nice surprise. It was their private island. Unfortunately, right now it's closed.
It's just so politically unstable right now, and they're not sure they can ensure the safety of the passengers.
Yeah. But the beaches were beautiful. The food was included. We booked the zip line, remember?
We did the zip line as a family, and there's also those like roller coasters that you know, it's just, they bring you up into the mountain, and then they put you on basically like a go-kart with rails, like, you know, and you just go down and you have a handbrake.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the beach while you did the roller coaster with them, remember? So I think for the ports of call on our cruise ship, what would you rate it?
I'd give it a 4.
4, I would give it a 3.5. They weren't the best ports of call. I wish we would have gone to like Coco Cay. It's a better private island, and I think, you know, if they wouldn't have included Falmouth, Jamaica in that port of call, I think I would have enjoyed it.
It's the only port I didn't enjoy, really. So that's why I took off the whole point.
Yeah. So overall, our experience on Harmony of the Seas, as an overall experience, what would you give the experience?
I think I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Same.
Honestly, like, cause you know, it's not the newest ship, but it feels new. It's super well upkept.
Super
It has the
great.
whole neighborhood concept. So, you know, if you're not getting onto an Icon class, you're not losing out by going onto an Oasis class. It has all the same things. It has an aqua theater. It has specialty dining. It has a good buffet. It has shows. It has neighborhoods. All those
Activities for the kids.
all those amazing things that you find in their latest ships are all present there. This is really the class that define this whole style of cruising that so many other cruise lines and cruise ships have modeled, you know, their modern ships off of. That I feel like if you're budget conscious, you can definitely find an Oasis class ship that suits your budget.
Yeah.
And you're literally not missing out on anything. You're getting state-of-the-art stuff, but I was really satisfied. And this was our first experience on a cruise ship. So this is what set us on this path to review other cruise lines, to try to do this as a career. So we've been trying other ships, and since then, we've always been comparing back to that first experience because it set the bar really high.
I think if it's your first cruise and you've never done a cruise, Royal Caribbean has a good mix of everything for different ages. So any Oasis class is a great first time cruise.
Yeah, so if you're planning on taking a trip on Harmony of the Seas soon, or you've just done it recently, you've probably seen the latest refurbishments. We'd like to hear how it's changed compared to our experience from a few years ago. So reach out to us, write a comment, let us know your story, your experience. Tell us if it got better, if it got worse, if you're a multiple time sailor on that ship. We'd love to hear from you.
Exactly. And if you liked today's content, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. It just helps us make more videos like this one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Happy cruising. Bye.